G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draw with Jazza. I'm Jazza and this is the Let's Draw video where I take suggestions from the Twitch chat and they all vote on what I should draw, and the winning vote today is Ultron from the Avengers movie Age of Ultron. And usually before I do my Let's Draws I do a whole bunch of different sketches. One of the ideas that people really liked was the idea of Ultron being a puppet master using little, marionette puppets. And so this is the little design that I sort of came up with of Ultron being the puppet master. So I'm going to have this little rough sketch on the side here while I do the refined drawing in this Let's Draw video. So it's a bit of a trickier sort of sketch. It's got some interesting foreshortening and lots of little elements in the picture, and also Ultron himself is going to have a lot of details, so it's going to be quite difficult to get it to look right. So I'm going to start off by simply drawing some really rough outlines of shapes that I think are going to make good positioning for the limbs of Ultron, and then draw him with really rough, almost human anatomy just to outline the shoulder and chest and head and arm areas. And while I'll leave the face mostly blank because there's going to be a lot of interesting detail there, I'm going to spend time to make sure I get the hand and finger positioning right, as well as the foreshortening on the character, and I'll just simply outline a few positioning features on the face and limbs. Once I'm happy with the basic shape, placement, and silhouette of the piece, I move on to doing the character detail. I use Google Images on the side of my monitor as I draw, just so I make sure I get some of the details in place and follow the character's design as accurately as possible. Doing the line work of this piece is going to be extremely complicated, so I start off by doing the broader shapes using a 0.3 fine liner and just making sure that I get the main structure of the entire image done first. Then I go over the whole piece in a 0.1 and add a huge amount of detail, as much as possible, to the mechanics of Ultron, and then the scene's layout, adding a whole bunch of different cross-hatching and textured shading to the cityscape and the destruction. Okay, so I'm really happy with how this has turned out now that I've finished all the line work and erased my construction lines. And as you can see, we've got Ultron being the puppet master with a little Tony Stark and a little Hulk Bruce Banner. So next I'm going to move on to color, and I'm going to use Copic markers to color this piece. Copic markers are an alcohol-based marker, which means that they can sort of mix. So once you put down some base tones and then you add some shadows, you can go back to your base tones and mix them in, and they will blend and create a gradiented effect. So I'm going to go through and do the color of this piece, and I'm not going to go through and specify every color that I use like I normally do, because I can see that I'm going to use quite a lot, and I'd rather just sort of improvise my way through this one and see how it turns out, because I actually don't have a plan. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. The aesthetic has sort of come together in a way that I'm fairly happy with, but as you can tell, it looks quite messy. So there are a few things I can do to neaten it all up, and one of those things is to redefine the silhouettes. And that also helps me because in areas where I've gone over the lines or things look a bit messy, I can just refine them. And that's as simple as going over some of the outlines and some of the outer edges with a slightly thicker outline, and that just helps solidify everything. The other thing I can do is bring out some highlights with my white pen, and that's going to be useful especially because we have a very reflective character here, and it's going to help with things like the strings. So for example here, Tony Stark's strings get lost behind all this detail, so having a few light outlines around those can help bring that out a bit. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the finished piece of Ultron the Puppeteer with Iron Man and the Hulk. This piece is dedicated to Savio in the Twitch chat. A sign and we're done. And make sure to join future Let's Draw live streams by clicking the Twitch icon above and following the Twitch channel. I hope you've enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.